And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Purple Pill Pod, episode 24 tonight. We got the special going for Christmas. It's not the 24th, but
Sorry about that, chat.
sorry about that, guys. The number one show in the world for dating. Please make sure to like, subscribe, go follow the podcast Instagram and the TikTok tag below. Please DM me on Instagram if y'all ever want to come on the show, ladies. I need more single ladies every episode. Shout out to my producer tonight. We just got Donnie in the house and Cornerstone Events in the background helping me out with recruiting. I really appreciate all y'all. So tonight we have just a panel of three really beautiful, awesome girls. It's going to be a little bit different. We want everybody to come and put in lots of questions in the chat tonight. So if y'all have any questions, if y'all want anybody to, or if y'all have anything special that y'all want to ask since it's Christmas time or anything, please come and put them in, super chat them in. For now, let's go ahead and just start with how we normally start. We'll ask, what's your name, your age, your education level, and what do y'all do for work? We'll start on the very end.
Okay, so I'm Alexis Taylor. I'm 25 years old, and I recently graduated with my degree in theater with the emphasis of acting and directing. I'm also a freelancer. I'm an artist. I act, sing, write, direct, and SFX. All me.
Okay, that's dope.
Thank you.
What about you? Name, age, education level, what do you do for work?
Jasmine, excuse me with my last name. I am 24. I'm not 25 yet, but we're getting there. I'm still in school. I go to Purdue, take my classes online right now, but due to graduate, I'm going to get my bachelor's in legal studies, and I'm a partner manager for a finance company.
Okay, nice. What about you? Your name, age, your education level, and what do you do for work?
So my name is Jessica Hurd. I am 24. I'm in school right now for business healthcare, and I currently work from home in insurance verification.
Insurance verification? I've never even heard of that job.
It's very complex. So pretty much like any insurance like you have for anything, we're verifying that. Pretty much right now it's just for people that need eye injections, but it's really complex, super hard. Talking to people on the phone, it's very irritating, but it's, you work from home, so it's like I'm in my PJ, so it's like it's cool.
It's okay. So did you get your degree for that?
So really, you don't actually have to have a degree for it. Technically, I've had a healthcare background, so that kind of helped out a lot. That I've been working in the healthcare field all the way down from like CNA up to the next level of working in the hospital doing insurance.
Okay, so that's like that. So that helps.
Yeah, so that background kind of helps. So technically, you don't always have to have a degree. So.
Okay.
Right in hand. Just as long as you're trying to get a degree, just let them know you have some type of effort going.
Okay. Well, so since it's a little bit of a Christmas special, I want to ask we'll start off with just one little different Christmas question. What is the gift that you like? What is your favorite? Like for the guys that might be watching, if they had a girlfriend like that, I want to know, what is a gift that really bothers you? Like if a guy got this for you, you just be like, oh, why the fuck did he get this? You know what I'm saying? And I just learned about one of the, I'll bring it up at the very end and see if y'all agree with me on this because my girlfriend told me about it. But I want to see if y'all, what y'all think. We'll start on your end. What is a gift that you're just like, why did he get that for me?
A gift that I would say, like maybe like a stuffed bear or like fake flowers or anything like that can die easily. Or like anything like I would say that's not me.
Okay. He needs to really listen to know what type of person you are. So then like it's something that's about you.
Not the cliche stuff.
Okay. What about you? What's something that's a gift that you're just like, what the hell? Why, man?
A gift card.
A gift card?
Yes.
Which one would piss you off the most, a gift card to wear?
Like Victoria's Secret or something. Like, you didn't even try.
Yeah, that's disrespectful in a way.
But then you can still get something out of that. Like you always want a nice new bra or like go get you a 5-pack of fucking thongs or something. So why is that not a good one?
Because you went to the store. It was like, it's Tuesday. I got to give this to her in like 3 days. I'm gonna grab a gift card and
it's not thoughtful.
Like,
it's not thoughtful. It's more of just like he couldn't think of something good, so he did this. I could totally understand that. Sometimes I think guys do it as a safety thing. Like I know if I get her this, at least she can get something with it, Because if he got you something else and you barely would use it, it would be useless,
Yeah, but if we're together for like 2 years and you show up with a gift card,
oh hell no.
Yeah, no.
Hell no. All right, what about you? What's a gift that you're just like, fuck no, I don't want that?
Oh, what is a gift? I would say like slippers, house shoes, anything like that. Anything that's kind of like cliche for you to get a girl, like a necklace, unless we got some type of true meaning, that would probably be like, the cliche things like, oh, some type of jewelry. What like is the definition behind it? What's the point of it? Make it have some meaning behind it. So I'll say, unless only make sure the gift has some type of meaning behind it. Don't just come up with a gift card and be like, oh, here you go. 3 days before, like she said, like, no, bro, like, you got to come with something harder than that. Like, don't even come over here half stepping like this is the 3-month stage and like, oh, here's a gift card, McDonald's gonna get you a little Happy Meal. No.
Hell no. All right. No, I had heard recently that like a heart gift, like a heart necklace or like a heart ring or something. Sometimes those are too cliche. It's too cliche.
But it just depends though. Like if he's proposing with like a ring pop, then he proposes with an actual ring, then it's cute.
Yeah.
And then it's cute. But it just depends on like.
It depends how the context of it though. Yeah. There's a lot to it. So also how many gifts would you get your man? Is there like if you were in a good serious relationship and he's a good dude, like how much? Well, I'll ask 2 questions. How much do you expect? How many gifts do you expect him to get you, and how many gifts would you get him?
Okay, so I remember one particular Christmas, I was really feeling like my ex-boyfriend at the time, and I was like, oh, I love him, blah blah blah, and so like I just got him a bucket of all the things that he loves, and I just filled it. So whatever it just amounted to, that's what it amounted to. I think like in total it was like 5, 6, 7 things.
5, 6, 7 things. Okay. And then how much do you expect him to get you? How many gifts do you think he should get?
The same. Just about. He knows I'm extra and I give extra, so he should match.
It should always be equal in that regard. Okay. What about you?
I got a question regarding that. How would you expect him to know how much to get if everything's a surprise?
Well,
you gotta throw out the hints there.
Yeah. I throw out a lot of hints. I say a lot of things. I'm into a lot of things. So there's a lot of things he could buy.
And like if he asked you like if he was like, hey, like how many gifts are you getting so I can get something, the same, would you be honest and be like, yeah, like 5 or 6, so then he can match you?
Yeah.
It's not ruining the secret at all.
I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna say 12.
Oh no!
Go home, right? Go
home. She's showing her cards right now.
Get her 12 gift cards.
Yeah, 12 gift cards to every restaurant, so I don't ever have to take her on a date. Actually, I'm just kidding. So, what about you? What's what was the question again? I said, how many gifts would you want him to get you, and how many gifts would you get him?
I actually do too much, so. If I see something, I'm probably gonna buy it and like not care if I already have like 6 things at the house already. But you don't have to do too much for me. Like I'm not the type of person that wants to receive, I'll give. So even if it's like one thing, probably wouldn't care. But if it's one gift card, then it's gonna be a problem.
It could be one gift, but it needs to be a gift of thought, like a really good gift. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then how much would you get him?
Again, it wouldn't matter, to be honest. If I give you something like huge, it's like, oh, this was like $700, like a PS5.
Then it would just be one thing.
Yeah. Oh no, actually no, because I might get accessories to go with it.
Yeah, so. You gotta get the like stocking stuffers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about you?
So for me, the amount doesn't matter. It depends on what it is. So it's like if you go and give me an engagement ring, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, like I don't care if you got me some socks. I don't care if you got me a Victoria's Secret card. I don't care about none of it. It's the ring for me. But if it's kind of like little things, then I'm gonna be like, okay, you know what? Probably maybe 2 to 3. Because me, I'm not that where it's just like, okay, you gotta have multiple gifts, stuff like that. So it's like then you're trying to do like everybody else doing. If you ain't got it like that, it's cool. But for me, it's just like I've done way too much in the past, like way too much, like bought a TV brand new, like games, all of that. So it's just like now it's like, no, I'm not about to do that. Now it's like, nah, you're gonna have to go get your own stuff, bro. Like I might get you a few games to go with your PS5 or your Xbox or whatever, but it's like I'm not about to go out here and buy you a whole like $500 gift and then you want another gift on top of that. So I say at least 2 to 3 gift minimum.
2 to 3 gift minimum. Yeah. Okay. Now I want to know like. Well, I mean, I gotta ask this really quick. So, a couple of y'all kind of brought up like ring stuff. Like, does a girl really want to get proposed to on Christmas? I'm curious.
I don't.
I just feel like it's like your anniversary would be Christmas then. So is that something that women really want though? Like she says no, but would you want that?
That would be a yes and a no. Like it's very cliche for it. I would prefer maybe the day we started dating for it to be. But Christmas, it's okay to get one. But I'm not going to be mad about it regardless. Like, if I'm getting a ring, I'm not going to be mad. But I would prefer probably not Christmas. do the day we started dating, that would be a whole lot better. So it's like, hey, maybe we can even get married on that date as well. So not to do the cliche stuff, Valentine's Day, Christmas, like do something different outside the box where it's just like it actually comes as a surprise because like people are going to be expecting, oh, she's going to get engaged on Christmas. She's been with this dude for maybe 2 or 3 years. It's like, so do something unexpected where it's out of the box.
Yeah, I can understand. The big thing to me is that you're like the holiday is already there, and you want to have a separate day. But like you said, if he's giving you a ring, are you really going to argue what day he's doing it on?
You should know me.
Don't do it on Christmas because eventually, what if we do? How
embarrassing if your girl's like no on Christmas? You know, like
you're gonna
ask me in a month. You know, like
come back tomorrow.
You're gonna have to share Christmas eventually if y'all have kids, and it's not gonna be about y'all. It's gonna be about the kids.
Yeah.
And then there you go. Your anniversary
is ruined to the kids every Christmas. Yeah.
Right.
No,
they're gone.
No, that makes sense. I want to know just really quick, like while we're kind of on the same subject. How old were you again?
I am 25.
And you were 24, and you were
24.
Okay, so I just want to ask really quick. Do y'all want to get married? Is that a goal?
Yes,
it's a goal for me.
What age would y'all like to be married by?
By 30.
By 30?
I have rules for me to consider marriage, like where I need to be, where he needs to be, finances.
So it could be 40. It doesn't matter. Age don't matter.
Yeah, age doesn't matter. But I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna get married and I want to get married. But it depends on the person and like where we are.
Okay. What about you?
It would depend, honestly. Like back in the day, probably 5 years ago, I'm probably like, yeah, by 30. But it's honestly, like she said, financial stability, the whole thing. But also, too, are you planning on having kids as well? Because let's just be honest, women biological clock, we can't have kids up until we're like 50, 60 and all that. Men can have kids up until they're
it's high risk pregnancy at 35 years old.
Yeah, so I'm just like, you got to be like, okay, do you want kids? It's like, all right. So if you want kids, we got to set a time frame for us to be able to get married, have kids, do all things we want to do. Because if you want to wait till we're 40 to get married, the chances of having kids and having a family is slim to none. So then you're going to be sitting here regretting me, hating the whole situation, be like, dang.
And in vitro is very expensive. Like, it's a very privileged thing to be able to do in vitro 9 times out of 10. Like, you got to pay cash for that shit too, usually. Like, it's crazy. But I want to know, since you had said, like, it doesn't really matter the age, do you realize that, like what she's saying, like you're going to put off your biological clock, like a guy, and the guy that you're going to really want, he's not going to want like somebody who's 35, 40, like something that women like to not, kind of ignore is that guys like younger women, especially the guys that you want, the guys that like you're going to want are going to want younger women. So you should not try to put it off. If anything, right now is the time where you have the most leverage and you can lock down that guy of your dreams right now because you're 24.
I agree.
And you're not going to do it at fucking 30, 35, 40.
That part I get, but it's not about like, again, my goal is not to be married. I feel like a lot of people want to be married.
So why is your goal not to be married?
I don't see it as like, for me, probably 2 years ago, I was like, oh yeah, I want to be married. I want to have like white picket fence, the kids, and like be set by 30. But like I've come to the realization that even if I'm not married, I'm okay. Like I'll be fine. Have a life partner or a soulmate, and it's like even if we didn't sign that paper, we're good. A lot of people get married and then they get divorced 2 years later.
Do you know that the number one thing that's like statistically shows that makes a woman happy in her later age is a family and kids, though?
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying I don't want a family.
I'm just saying we have more people on antidepressants more now than ever, especially women in the 30 to 40 bracket. Okay. And the reason why is because of this type of thing happening. They're saying, I don't want kids. It's fine. It's no big deal. But then they're getting to those later ages and they're going, wait, shit. That is like a family. Those things are the things that are going to make me happy later on in my life. That you got to think about it for your grandmother. Like y'all all have a grandmother. Whenever you go to a family reunion and she looks around and she sees 30, 40 grandkids that only came because of what she did, that fulfillment that a woman gets from something like that is something that you can't even fathom. It's a very amazing feeling.
Well, I would like to point out, like me saying I don't want to rush marriage is me saying I'm not rushing to sign a paper with somebody. Doesn't mean I'm not finding my lifelong partner. I'm not building toward being happy with them, and kids can come whether you're married or not.
I just wanted you to know that mentality is dangerous.
Yeah. It is dangerous if you don't be smart about it. If you're not smart, if you're not responsible. But a lot of people say, oh, I'm not going to be 40, 30 looking for a family and a husband, and then you get married at 23 and now you're divorced by 28.
But here's the thing. If you make that mistake, that's because you
can
made
make
a
a mistake either way.
But this is the biggest issue today, is that people suck at picking people. Like there's like this is, and like the thing is, if you look at divorces, who do you think causes most divorces?
Women.
Do you know?
I don't know who causes more divorces.
80% of divorces are by women. 90% if they're college educated. So the thing is, women are the ones that are ending most marriages.
Right? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you think you saying us here now, 25, 24? What do you think we possess now that would prepare us for a lifelong marriage with the person that we're picking now? Men are probably not even fully developed before they're 30 mentally. So for me to pick someone at 24 and say, I'm going to be with you for the rest of my life.
I don't expect you to pick somebody at 24. That's what you're assuming. That's wrong. Well, I expect you to pick somebody who's older and that actually has their life together. The problem is that everybody has this thought in their head like, oh, hinky dory, we're going to be with somebody who's our same age. That's great if y'all were both virgins and like y'all weren't doing anything wrong. But that's not the world we live in. The world we live in isn't even close to something like that. So
you're suggesting as a 24-year-old to pick someone around what age?
At least probably
30.
like the thing I like to go 30. I like to cut in half, add 7. So if you're at 24, that'd be 12 plus 7. You'd be at like 9. Wait, no. So I'm trying to think for the guy. If he was 30, what's half of that? 15 plus 7. That's like 22. So yeah, probably around 30, 31, 32, I would say. 32 probably would be the perfect age, I think.
So it's kind of going back to what she said, that guys are not mentally probably fully developed until they're in their good 30s.
It's not even mentally developed. Like the thing is, none of us are fully mentally developed until 25, and that's men and women, and social media completely fucked it up to where all of y'all generation, a lot of y'all generation is gonna be completely fucked no matter what, because we all grown up with actual social media in your hands, whereas like me, I was not even close to that. Like I didn't have my first social media until I was 19 years old.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 31.
Well, see, for me, I grew up in a different time setting. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm 24, but I grew up with a stability about family. Like, I mean, my parents have been married over 40 years.
You can still get raised by the internet. Like, you might have, but you do have a higher chance of being better because you had a 2-parent household.
I mean, yeah, I do have the mindset of like, oh, yeah, like, you know what? I don't want to do this. Like, the internet can definitely, like I said, it can definitely be a depiction of what you do and how you act. But it doesn't, when you finally, like, actually self-examine yourself and look at it, it's like, do you actually want these things? But just going to it now, right now, I'm probably not ready to get married. Like I said, I have older siblings, so they're like, no, you're too young to get married. Like, you really need to think about who you're getting married to. And I even think about that myself. Like, will this person be able to care for me? Like, when I'm sick, you know, and when I need something, so they're just going to be there for how I look now, not how I'm going to look in 30 plus years. Because that's pretty much what most guys, like, they get married for somebody that's going to look pleasing to them. They're not looking at, oh, she's going to end up being a mom one day, taking care of my kids, like, and she's going to change throughout, and they're not able to handle that. And most females as well, too. Sometimes we're not able to handle the guy. Like, say we try to marry somebody that we met, like, now at our age. We're not ready for that, to deal with them and where they're at, and we're not. You
think you're not ready for that, but if you look at all of history, and if you look at your mothers and your grandmothers and stuff like that, it was like the age to do it was earlier. It wasn't like 24 would actually be considered late at some points in
technically
history.
It would be, because like I said, my parents was like 21 and 23, but back in the day, they had their goals set. They knew what they wanted right then and there. My parents knew they wanted a family. They knew they wanted each other, so it wasn't no back and forth like, oh, I have this
I'm telling y'all though, like, statistics show what's gonna make y'all happy in y'all's future is a family and kids. And I'm telling you, if you wait until 30, 35, your chances of making those things happen are harder. This is the little loop, this little vicious cycle that a lot of women are in today. And it's very sad because there's a lot of people that are going to be suffering in the next 10, 20 years. Like I said, y'all's generation, with sleeping around and stuff and not being in relationships, do you know how much trauma this is?
Wait.
This is a lot of trauma. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Well, no, because I think we're confusing the fact that, like, people, or us being where we are now, women, life expectancy is way longer than what it was before. You have way more options than you did before. Like, before it was like women were just in the house and you need to find a man and be a mom and do this and do that. Now we're out here doing what we want to do, and we are well more educated. We have a lot more things to bring to the table. We're far more advanced than where we were before. So I don't think
that's why?
No, I'm not saying that's why. What I'm saying is times change, and on top of the fact that you don't have to sign a paper to have meaning in life. You don't have to be tied down to one person on the paper to have a life partner. You don't have to sign a paper to understand this is my person and we're going to have kids and we're going to be together forever. And the government don't got to tell me what I got to do to break up and get out of it.
And that's completely, if anything, I actually preach exactly what you just said because I want the laws to get changed so bad. Like, no, trust me, I think marriage laws are so fucked up that you're right. It fucks up families all the time. And it's just because of the marriage laws. Like, it's really sad. And so I agree with you. But the thing is, we still need to be in relationships. Like, I preach on this show, I say that I like to shame people into relationships. That's what I like to do because the thing is, if you're alone, you're making mistakes. Like, if you're alone, it's because there's something wrong with you. Like, and that's what nobody wants to accept. People who are single love to point and say it's all these other things. Like, they don't like to take accountability. They like to say it's the other person. My relationship failed because that guy was this way or this. But in reality, it's always yourself. And like, and if we keep doing this cycle where we keep blaming the environment, blaming everything, that the culture, blaming the other people, you'll never get into that relationship. I use this analogy all the time. I don't want to use it again, but I got to. So there's these horses, I think they're Norwegian. I can't remember which breed of horse they are, but they're the strongest horses in the world. They can pull 4,000 pounds by themselves. Okay, how much do you think two of them can pull together?
A single horse can pull 4,000 pounds?
Yes. How much do you think two of them pull together?
Well, if one can do 4, then I would say 8 or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does 16. It's 4 times the amount. It does 16,000 pounds. Okay. What do you think happens if those horses sleep together in a stable for a year and they spend a bunch of time? They run around in the fields, they eat together, and they become little best friends. How much do you think they pull after they do that?
Where are we getting this from?
This is from a pastor. It was where I got this one from. So they pull 32,000 pounds at that point. How much do you think the two brothers that were the world record holders for pulling, and they spent their whole life together, how much do you think they pulled?
No.
They pulled 50,000 pounds. So the thing is, teamwork is a multiplier. And so there's tons of people who are staying single, and because of that, they're never going to be able to buy houses. They're never going to be able to save for the future. They're never going to be able to do things. And like, you got to understand, the powers that be want y'all single. Because guess what? When y'all are single, you're going to go buy more makeup. You're going to spend more money going out. You're going to spend more money going on trips. You're going to spend more money on bullshit, on things that are just going to make them more money, and not your house, not your 401k, not your savings, not your things that are going to make your kids' lives better in 20, 30 years, not generational wealth. They know this. And if y'all keep staying on this cycle, they profit more, and you're going to be sad in 20, 30 years.
Well, we just don't also want to jump into a relationship just because we're lonely. Sometimes you need to be lonely.
I don't say to jump, but the thing is to learn to choose wisely. And the problem is women don't know. So this is what I do with my show. I try to teach women how to choose wisely because y'all don't know how to choose, and y'all get dickmatized or you'll get finessed out your box.
We don't know how to choose.
Yeah. Women don't know how to choose.
Okay, wait.
Yeah,
can we?
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of like.
Yeah.
Let's also acknowledge the fact that the dating pool for men now
suck too.
It's poor, piss poor.
Y'all want to go figure
Pardon
out
my friend.
Y'all should hear how much I talk shit on men too. I think men are just no. Trust me. I think the men are just shit too. But that's why I'm trying to tell you. You have to learn to pick wisely. Like it's shit on both sides. I think barely 10% of people are actually decent today. Most people are fucked up, especially 25 and under. No offense.
Then why don't we get in a relationship? We're all fucked up then.
Because y'all can, but it's a matter of taking accountability and choosing wisely. It's about choosing wisely. And here's the thing: I try to teach y'all to go to networking events, go to charity events, work under the type of man that you would want to be with. So if you want to be with a lawyer, find out a way to become something under a lawyer. If you want to be with a doctor, do something that's under a doctor, a nurse program. Do whatever is in that type of field.
Stop going to the club.
Yeah. And if you want to, but go to charity events, go to networking events, and trust me, you find very good people that are on their grind and they're not bullshitting. But the problem is you go to the club, or the thing is if you're at the grocery store and a guy comes up and he talks to you, cold approach, that guy, if he has the balls to do that, he probably has done it many, many times. So y'all end up with the players, because the guys that are outside that are actually trying, they're all players. Like, most of the girls are all fucking the same guys. Tinder studies show that all the girls swipe right on 5% of men. So those 5% of guys are the ones fucking all the girls, and there's a bunch of dudes that just get no response at all.
Baby, good thing I'm not on Tinder.
Yeah. And I like to say no dating apps. Yes, organic only.
Organic only, because I feel like it's so much out here, like, you don't know what you're getting. Even if you meet somebody in person, you don't know what you're getting, because people are so stuck on like giving this false narrative of who they are, like, and lying for no reason. Like, why are we lying? We are grown. Like, if you want something, say that. But why are you out here like trying to paint a perfect picture and you're not? We're just all like messed up people just trying to make it through life. That's it. So it's like, just be like that. Just be real. So
What
okay,
you call
you
a
know?
social media era.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like you're trying to
Yeah,
paint a
ruined
perfect
everything.
Like
picture.
you're
and it's not.
catfishing, like
Yeah.
socially.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Socially
So one of the
catfishing.
girls brought up something funny the other day. She was like, "These guys," she said, because we were talking about like Louis V and Gucci and stuff like that, and she was like, "It's catfishing," and I was like, wow, it is. Like, that's a guy's version of
It
catfishing is
is.
wearing, because y'all gotta understand, I always like to teach that there's a pyramid of priority for men and there's a pyramid of priority for women for trying to get into a relationship or to just get in the door. For guys, our pyramid of priority at the very top is provisioning. We have to prove that we're a provider. That's what gets us in the door with a pretty girl. Like, say I want a girl to actually go out on a date with me. She needs to see that I'm a provider in some way, shape, or form. Maybe see that I have a nice car. Maybe she saw on Instagram that I have a nice house. Maybe she
Gold chain.
yeah, maybe she saw my gold chain. Maybe she sees what I wear every time. Maybe she heard from her friend something about me, so she knows that I'm not a bum.
I need
You
to see
know?
your pay stub.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me see your pay stub.
but-
I've seen a lot of men.
So
don't have
hold on, one second. So like, since that's the thing that gets them in, a lot of guys today who are broke or whatever it is, they know that thing gets them in the door with women. So what do? They buy Gucci, they buy Louis, they buy all the shit, and they peacock. They peacock all these things because that's how they're going to get attention and that's how they're going to get these
but
girls
that
come
means
in.
they're going after the wrong women.
It
though.
works though, yeah.
It
well,
does work.
yeah, it
Because
works.
If your intention
And-
is to sleep with the woman, then you're gonna get it.
Yes, and there's just a big, and that's the problem also, like girls want to make guys wait sometimes, but it sucks because as long as there's a giant field of hoes out here that are sleeping on the first date, you can sit there and
Why
make
do I
guys,
need you?
you can make guys wait 30, 60 days as much as you want, but the real guys that are like players, like they're not, or like the guys who maybe are really valuable, like perfect example, like with me and my girlfriend, like we like slept together like on the first time and stuff, but most people would say not to do that, but I only believe that that's how you get burning genuine desire. Like, you know when you really like somebody if you're willing to give it up to him on the first night, because that means he did something right. You're vibing really hard.
True.
There's something going really good there.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
she's
Oh, yeah.
it's the truth. It's the truth.
I mean, that is true because if you make
if you
somebody
make somebody wait, like think about it, if you slept with 5 guys and they were all say really attractive dudes, you know, and you let them all hit on the first night because they were so cool, and you're like, maybe this guy will want me back if I do this, you know. But then you're like, fuck that, all those guys screw me over, that sucks. Any guy after this, I'm making wait 60 days. Do you think it's fair to those guys whenever you gave yourself so easily to those past 5 guys, you know, on the first
It's
night?
fair for me because I learned my self worth and learned I don't have to sleep with
Well,
somebody on the
that-
first night in
yeah.
order for them to
That's
commit
fine,
to me
but
later
he's
on.
also entitled to, you know, walk away and say, then she's not going to care
Well,
about me
if he
nearly as
walks
much
away,
as people.
baby, let me open the door for you and tell you where the exit is.
Hey,
Okay?
but here's the thing. Y'all got to remember, you don't have the leverage. This is the problem today, is a lot of women think you have the leverage. You don't. That's why y'all need to listen to men more than ever right now, because you're not the one who puts a ring on your finger. Like, that's the problem, is like women like to walk around like, oh, I get all these DMs, I got all these people, yeah, I'm the prize. But in reality, the ring is the prize, and if you're not acting right or being the woman for it, you're not ever going to get the ring.
So are you saying that we have to sleep with somebody and come more available?
No, this is something that we like to debate. It's really hard to decide how long you're supposed to make guys wait.
What
If
makes
you've
you
always
happy?
made guys wait 30 days, then you can obviously keep making guys wait 30 days, because if any guy ever asks, why aren't you sleeping? And you can be like, I've never let a guy hit within 2 weeks or whatever, you know, like you could be like, I've never done that, and I never fucking will, you know. And but if a guy's hit on the first night, then it's obviously just not fair to him at all. Like, it's not fair at all.
You
And
know, you know
obviously
the
you don't
truth
care about that
unless you were
person.
there.
You really don't. Like you really don't care about them when you make them wait. Like, period. Like, you waste each other's time. Like, this is one of the big problems today, is everybody wastes each other's time. I like to also teach women that on the first date, you should ask a guy's income. You should ask his credit score. You should,
I'm asking all
like,
that.
yeah.
Get married.
Have you
Hey,
been
this
to
is-
jail?
Get married if you want
Hey,
to have kids.
These
And
girls,
I ask
these
all
girls must be watching my
what is
show,
your
y'all.
blood type? I want to know
Yeah.
that as well, because
But-
that's important.
And if
Your
you
blood
got
type.
kids, how many do you have? Have you been to jail? How
I
old
don't
are
date
you?
you.
Yeah, no, all that.
When was the last time you went to jail?
I have a whole
Like,
list.
for real.
and,
Chat, these
I got-
girls have
like-
trauma.
Like,
Yeah.
no shit. Like, I have a whole list. Like,
Yeah.
I will ask if I'm interested. I'm gonna ask you, have you been to jail? How many kids do you have? Because most of the time that I find that I have guys that are older than me, they're in their 30s, that try to talk to me. So I'm just like, okay, do you have kids? All right, how many kids do you have? Because then I'm gonna weed out. Do I want to deal with 1 baby mama, 2 baby mamas? That's something else I gotta take into play.
Jesus
So-
Christ.
It's already too many.
Here, Donnie, go ahead. What was your
Too
question?
many.
Yeah, I got a question for you, ladies. So, do you have any male figure in your life that can help vet other guys through the door for you? Because what I just heard you say, you were like, oh, I want to know how many kids you have, how you been to jail, what convictions you have, all this other bullshit that a real man, can actually help vet that through.
A real man?
Yeah. Do you have like a
How
father?
many
or like,
examples do you want? Because I mean, my father is my number one example. Because guess what? He's gonna go out, work, provide. I mean,
do you ever let him help you vet though?
Okay, so I'm not gonna say vet because my dad is very different from these men out here nowadays. He's not, one of those. He's 60 plus, so he's very different. So he
sounds like a great person to help.
Oh
vet.
yeah, so it's like one thing I didn't have to worry about me or my siblings was how food was going to get on the table because he made sure he took care of that. But nowadays men want to go 50-50 or either they just don't want to do their shit, do what they're supposed to do, like take care of your family. So it's just like,
know what? No security.
Right, and we're sitting here having to,
There's the guys that y'all are choosing. I'm telling you, like, so how many guys do y'all think are single? Like, how many guys do you think haven't had sex within the last year? 18 to 30. Like, guys from 18 to 30, how many do you think haven't had sex over the last year?
None.
What percentage?
They all out here. They all out here.
Especially if they're 18 to 30, you think all of them?
Most definitely. That's
Okay.
the most time that you.
What do you think?
Well,
What do you think the percentage is?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some men out there or young boys who like, I'm just like a bookworm and I'm not out here worried
Between
about
18 and
girls.
30.
But
18-year-olds still doing that?
No, I know somebody that waited to 21 to lose his virginity. So
I don't think he waited. I think he
No.
was forced.
well, that's not nice.
Yeah.
Okay, but like,
Yeah.
what about you? Like, what percentage do you think it is?
Now that I think about it, I do know some guys that were like, socially awkward that waited, that couldn't really get girls. So I would say like, I know
There's
women
some-
are having more sex than guys because we got it like that.
I'll give you the women's number. I think it's like 14% or 15% right now. So what do you
That
think guys
haven't?
are that haven't had sex from last year? Haven't had sex and or virgins in between 18 and 30.
Ooh.
What do you think guys are?
So if that's 15, then I'll say they're 20, 25.
Guys are double. They're about 30 to 33, somewhere around there. And so that's about one in three men. So like y'all got to realize that you might be like, oh, these guys like they're like this, but there's some guys that might be protected or they might be have security, like financial security and stuff, but they don't even get looked at because maybe they're just dorky or they're just weird or they got a belly or maybe they're too short. The biggest thing is like height, stuff like that.
money.
Like let's just ask really
Muscles.
quick, like what's a number that y'all want?
You got to be taller than me.
I like 6 feet because
You
I'm
got-
5
you want 6 feet? What about you?
No, I'll do like 5'10", 5'11".
5'10", 5'11". What about
You
you?
just gotta be taller than me. Like you can't. I say you can't be, but my thing is like I found that you can kind of be dogging the short guys and maybe the ones that's financially stable that's got it together. But it's also like
You're
when
knocking out half of your selection.
Yeah,
for
so I'm just
4
like you're
inches.
knocking it down. So I kind of like came off the
about my
standard because
kids.
then guys could easily turn it around on you and be like, well, you have this, and this wrong with you. So I don't like this. So it's like you can't change being short. Like you can't grow.
Yeah, that's one of those that they can't do
So
anything
it's
about.
like, but females like some things that guys kind of point out we can change. Just like, but you can't change being short. So it's like I'm gonna give you a chance, see how the personality is, see how the vibe is. But personally, it's like just off the rip, it's like I want somebody that's at least like
I've
like
dated
5'5".
somebody my height, so
Okay, well, 5'9" is average. So that's the only problem is like if you start trying to look at crazy, like say you're average, but you're looking for above average. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's whenever you
The
start
math is
getting
the
it.
math.
Yeah, the math
I
isn't
just don't want
massive.
no little kids, you guys. I'm like 5 feet. I can't have any little kids. I might have like
Not the little people.
kids.
So like you think because you're 5 feet, you need the 6 foot guy. So when y'all have
Balance
kids,
it
They
out.
can
yeah.
balance it out or something like something.
Oh yeah, because if you have a son, he's gonna hate his life. Huh?
maybe.
Why would my mom do
Yeah.
I know some short guys is like, man, I wish I was tall because
You're
the
thinking
girls
really
always
ahead
pick
there.
them.
I've never
Like,
thought
I'm
about
just like,
that.
I think of like animals. Like if you think about it in the animal kingdom, women are very, very like the women are picky. They pick the male. They have the males fight
Not
on
all the
them.
time. It
Well,
just
I
depends.
thought about your peacock
Yeah.
analogy. That one, they show off the flashier feathers. Whoever has the flashier feathers, that's who they go with.
Yeah.
Because he's the one we're gonna have good
You're
looking
gonna have
babies.
the prettiest babies. Yeah.
So stuff like that. I think about stuff like
What's the income that y'all are looking for?
Good question. See, I'm because
now or like
For a husband, for a guy that would
Right
marry you.
I would really want him very well off because of how I picture things. Like since I was a little girl, I've wanted certain things in my life. It's not changing,
Mhm.
so I'm willing to wait, or it can happen right now if he can do it. If
Mhm.
if he can do it, then
Cool.
Can we go around the table with that question, Sergio? But
Yeah.
not only what we want is a number, like a
Yeah,
figure
give me a
of how
number,
much.
like
And-
60K, 70K.
Okay.
And
because-
as well, can
okay, I got
you also
you.
provide the age range of men that you're looking for as well with that said number?
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I realized that older men are better. They treat you better. That's where I'm at. So yeah, 30.
Hey, that's your
30.
choice. That was
Yeah,
your choice.
that's my-
Any
that's
guy
my
that did that to you, that was your choice, all right?
I just be thinking like,
That was your choice.
30 and up, and then yeah, I just think so much about like my dad, I guess. So like 6 figures.
6 figures. What about
Yeah.
you?
For now, wait, we're giving ages too, right?
Yeah, if you want to give it age also.
For me, if I was dating somebody that was 26, 27, like you would have to have major connections and been working or been lucky to be making 6 figures.
That's the age
So-
person that you want.
No, I'm saying if I was doing that, I wouldn't like if I met somebody and it was like I pick you, like I wouldn't expect for you to be making 6 figures at 26. Like that seems crazy.
Yeah, it is
But-
crazy, yeah.
Exactly. But if I'm going for someone that's older and I find somebody that's like 35 and you're like, oh, maybe 50,000, for me, it's like, what are you doing now at 35 that you're comfortable making 50,000? So I wouldn't, that doesn't make sense. So I would say like 90K is like, you need to be making 90,000. So if you want a family and you want it to pursue long term, you need to be making like, because the middle class is going to be like, is that a middle or low or higher class? So at some point, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000 is going to be nothing. So
Mhm.
90,000 needs to be like
Yeah,
the cutoff.
90,000 is like comfortable.
Exactly.
Okay.
Especially if I like have to have kids and like I can't work right now, you got to protect your family
Yeah.
financially. So yeah, I would say that.
Okay. What about you?
I would say 80K and above, just because, like you said, you want to be able to live comfortably and not have to worry about, oh, both of us got to work a full-time job, to support a family, and then have kids. Who's going to watch the kids? Oh, then you got to pay for daycare. So I would say at least 80 and above. But for age range, I mean, if you're making that money at the age of 24, 25, that's great. But stability wise, like I find myself more attracted to older men that's in their 30s and stuff, but I also find that some of them don't have their shit together either. So it's just like, my thing is, you can be older than me, that's fine, but as long as you have your shit together, like you got your own house or apartment, your own place to stay, like your income is good, like you got your savings, because I need you to be able to help me put me on game.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm
teach
saying?
me
Teach
something.
me something, because
Yeah.
a lot of them out here are still in that 24.
Those guys need
23.
to be invisible. Like, this is the biggest issue today, is that the fact that they even get brought up. Like, those people shouldn't even be on y'all's minds. Like I shouldn't have to tell y'all
Wait,
this.
who?
This should be something that it should just be already known, that guys that if you meet a guy in the 30s and they don't have anything or they don't have any of those things together,
Oh,
like,
who's talking to
it
them?
should-
I'm not.
yeah, I'm just making just the way you sound. It just sounds
I'm
like
asking those
you see it a
questions.
lot. It
Yeah.
just sounds like you've seen it a
Yeah,
lot.
I've seen it a lot, because I'm
Yeah.
just like, you're still in that mindset, and I've seen some of them, they're still trying to figure stuff out, but I'm just like, okay, that's cool, but it's like, I can't really deal
I
with
just
you at
hope
this
y'all
point.
learn to avoid that type of shit, because
Yeah.
like you need to. This is the problem today: is y'all see a red flag and you don't run. You see a red flag, you're like, but he's 6 foot, but but he has this, or maybe he has good dick. Like
You know what?
there's all these
honestly,
buts.
I asked myself a question of why like women ignore red flags, and it's because they want to be picked. It's like, pick me. I'm right here. I looked over your mom issues. I looked over your financial issues. Like,
Your
I'm here to ride or die.
communication,
Like, don't leave me. I'm like,
Well, there's
right
certain
here.
things that like the problem is also nobody really knows what are red flags and what are green flags. Like, we talk about this all the time on the show, and there's so many times where girls don't understand certain things that are red flags, and they also don't understand certain things that are green flags. So like, there's a huge misconception. If dads were helping vet, there's certain
Yeah.
things that would help a lot, but y'all are like, we understand men. Men understand men perfectly. We know that guys will do anything to get pussy, and like that's what y'all
Oh, I
don't.
know that too.
Yeah. But like a lot of women don't. A lot of women don't know that, and they're like, oh, because this is the thing. When y'all sleep with somebody, it's because you really do like them. Like there is something special there, and like y'all fall in love when y'all have sex because y'all release oxytocin. There's a bond that's built. So like it's way more serious for y'all, but for guys, it's like taking a piss. It's not even close to the same thing. But y'all will project that onto us, and a guy might have a rotation of a bunch of girls, and he's just sleeping with them. But some of those girls might be like, oh, he really likes me. We're gonna be in
Pick
a
me.
relationship.
He's gonna change.
He's gonna change. But the thing
Yeah.
is, and that's because she's projecting how she sees sex. She sees sex as, oh, every time I do this, it's making him love me more. No, That's how y'all are. It's the opposite for men. We really don't. It's like taking a piss.
But see, that's why I said, like, going back to like having somebody to vet for him. The way my dad is set up, he couldn't vet. If anybody that I've talked to, he would not vet for them. Probably 9 times out of 10, maybe 2 that he would vet for. But if you're not working, you don't have a car, you don't have stability, and you're not a real man, and if you dress a certain way, like, yeah, that's not gonna help you. I mean, even my brothers are gonna be the same way. They're gonna be like, yeah, he's not shit at all. Like, they're gonna straight up tell me, like, you need to quit messing with him because he's not benefiting you in no type of way. So I have people that'll vet for me, and I know what type of man I'm looking for. So based off my examples that I have, I mean, granddad, dad, brothers, uncles, I have people, and I also know which ones not to look at based off of some of those examples as well too. I want somebody that's a good communicator because, I mean, just you want somebody that can reciprocate what you give to them. So it's like, if I'm a good communicator and I try to be honest with you, I want that as well. Like, don't be out here 30 and lying about, oh yeah, like I may want a relationship, I may not. You know, just be honest. It's like, no, baby, I don't really want a relationship right now.
Every time I hear these things, I just hear, like, it's really sad because I know tons of fucking guys that don't do any of this shit. It's who you're around and it's who you fuck with. It's so sad because it's like, I don't know where you are seeing this. I understand if it's on the internet, like Tinder or any dating apps or Instagram, that's all a given. Like you were saying, organic is better. But organically, I don't know how, if you're meeting people by community, that you should be experiencing these type of things.
Right. Shout out to FNF.
Because this is the problem. Because this is the problem. Like, whenever you meet within this is why I preach like the networking events and the charity events, stuff like that. Because when you meet people within a network, or if you meet people who know each other, then that guy's less likely to screw you over because you met him through this other person, and they're going to tell them whenever they do it. So the problem is, girls go meet a guy randomly on the internet. Of course, he's going to pump and dump you.
I like Derek. Derek's a great guy.
Or the guys at the bar, you know, of course they're going to do that.
Hey, I got a follow-up question.
Yeah, but you don't know a person until...
I got a follow-up question real quick. For the ladies, for the one at the far left, just a minute ago, you had mentioned something along the lines of, let me pull up my notes here. So, men having their shit together. I got a question for all three of y'all. Can you provide me what qualifies a woman for having her shit together whenever we're talking about a dating market and as well a long-term relationship? Can y'all give me an example of what makes a woman have her shit together?
I can give you 2 examples because I've dealt with 2 different types of men at least. You have you got some men that want you to have everything, the car, the house, everything, like independent, full blown, independent. 401k, cool. And then you also have the men who just care if you like trying. And they're willing to help. They're willing to protect you and, you know, provide that security and make sure that you are well off. So it just depends on what type of man you're dealing with.
So independent and...
Yeah, independent or like, you know, just, what is it? Potential. As long as you have potential.
Okay,
See,
cool.
sometimes the potential gets you in trouble too, because they could have potential to be good, but they're not following through with it. Like you have
well, actions, of course. Your actions have to match your words, of course.
Okay. So I got independent and having potential. Next, please.
What qualifies a woman
for having their shit together and a means of making a great potential for a long-term relationship?
I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of men like to know that, like, my spouse, future spouse, or my girlfriend I'm going to be taking serious is he has a head on her shoulders, meaning you're smart. I can trust you with my vulnerabilities. So someone that's open to transparency. Like, I feel like it's a lot of expectations for a woman to be in the house you're providing, like the cooking, the cleaning, the making sure everything's straight there, but also being that safe space. So as long as you have at least that, they're willing to take care of the finances. So if you don't have that, then you're not even like an option. Like the first time you disrespect a man in their space, it's like, okay, well, yeah, this is not somebody for me. So in that aspect, I would say being like a safekeeping emotionally and spiritually, and also being a safekeeping with making sure my house or my I would say like the cooking and cleaning and everything else is put together.
What's an emotional safekeeping? Like, what do you mean by that?
Like for a man, I think, again, for men, it's like the trust. Women want to feel like I can trust you, not to go cheat on me, not to go do anything outside of the household, but to make sure my heart is safe. And men want to feel like they're safe spiritually and emotionally. Like to know I can go outside and be looked at any type of way, from like work to like walking down the street, and I can't trust the next man walking past me. When I come home, I can trust like my woman got me. My woman got me my emotions. I can take my cape off. I can take like this mask off that I'm wearing all day. Make sure that I got to make sure everybody else knows I'm good. I'm straight. But when you come home, you can just like relax.
You're totally projecting like a woman emotion right now. Like
Correct.
that has nothing to do with fucking men at all. Like at all. We don't give a shit about that at all.
Because I can provide an example. Because I just dealt with that from the last 2 men that I decided to take.
Sounds like a feminine ass dude, and that's why he's not with you anymore.
No, because there is a lot of men out here, and I feel like that may not be you. You may not care about that, and that's how you can be. That's your life. That's how you want to be. That's fine. But there are a lot of men out here. Let me speak for black men out here that want to feel like they can come home and decompress. Like that's just something they deal with.
That's true.
And as soon as you disrespect that or cross that threshold, I got to go find somewhere else to be. Like I can't be here. I can't thrive here. And that's their space, whether it's their man cave, whether it's their.
We just want somebody submissive that's not going to argue with us. It's that fucking simple. It is that simple.
That's
all.
all.
Okay, that's all. Like it has nothing to do with the emotions, though. It has not. What y'all got to understand is when you say stuff like that, you are projecting how a woman feels. Y'all are emotional creatures. We are logical creatures. That is simple as it is. Now there might be some guys that are super emotional, but I guarantee you that those relationships will never fucking last because an emotional man is a dangerous man. It is extremely dangerous when a man is emotional.
Okay. What's wrong with having to know or being able to know that you can go home and not have to worry about whatever you dealt with throughout the day? What's wrong with knowing that?
Do you think that men are not built to just handle things? Do you think that we cry over problems at work?
No one's saying cry over problems at work.
But do you think that we get emotional over problems at work?
That's the point. You don't get emotional over problems at work. So when you come home, you just want to relax. That's the point. It's about you not getting emotional over problems at work. That you need that space to do that. That's the point.
That makes no sense. Guys don't get emotional at work.
We
don't. We're not going to sit there. That's what I'm saying. It's a projection. You're because this is how women are. You need to understand that a lot of things that y'all think, y'all project, and this is the biggest issue today. Is that women think men are like this or like this? It's always projecting.
Can I ask if you feel like you don't need to be emotional, like what do you do with your emotions?
There's very rare times when a man is emotional and you either go talk to your boys about it or you take care of it yourself. Because it is a scraped knee. Anything that is a problem for a man, if you're not able to solve it, you're fucking fucked up in some way.
What do you do
have some
with
issue.
That's not okay, but what you talk to your homeboys about your problem?
Well, why not your girl?
Because she can leave you over. She can totally leave you over.
So why do you have to go talk to your homeboys about something when you have a
Because if a man has a problem, hold on. If a man has a problem, you think that if I have a problem with my job, with whatever financial, whatever it is, if he's the leader of the house and everything, hold on. Stop interrupting. If he has any type of issues with these things that are manly fucking things, you think you have the solution for it? No, the people who have the solution for those problems are his boys or himself will figure it out. Men are problem solvers. Y'all need to understand something about men. We are problem solvers. The sewers down in the ground, the buildings built, that is fucking men that did that shit. That's not women doing that. We are problem solvers. We like to solve problems, okay? And the thing is, we're very good at it. We don't cry over scraped knees. We're not supposed to. Okay, so like when you try to encourage a man to do stuff like that, you're gonna bite yourself in the ass every time.
What I said was I've dealt with men in the past, and I can't speak to any other race.
And they're in the past, and they are in the past for a reason.
I would like to pause. We said don't interrupt. Okay, so I would like to say I can't speak to any other race besides the one that I have dealt with, and this comes from 33-year-old men, 24-year-old men, 40-year-old men. What they want to know is that when I come home, if I choose you to be the person I want to share a household with, I don't have to deal with outside factors in my house. This is my space. And if a man comes to you and says, I had a shitty ass day, all this shit happened at work, whether he probably doesn't want a solution, he wants someone to listen.
That is something that women do. Men, if a man comes home and says, man, today was such a shitty day because of blah, 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 that is the most feminine dude I've ever heard of in my fucking life. That is crazy. That is what women do. Every day when my girl gets off work, that's what she does. That's not what I do. I ain't never done that.
So are you saying that guys should only go sold their homeboys? They don't have, that's the only.
You should either handle it by yourself like a man, and take care of your issue, because it's usually a knee scrape. It's usually some little financial issue. It's usually something that is not worth being a baby over it. being emotional. It's
So,
usually not
I mean,
worth.
you have
would
some
like-
things that you can, that, like you said, are a needs scrape. You shouldn't have.
Yeah,
to do,
if his
but-
mother dies, of course it's okay for him to come and cry to you. His mother died.
Yes,
but we're
look,
talking
that's
about
so severe.
work. Like we're talking about getting off of work and stressful days and
'Cause
stuff.
then-
No, never.
then you
If
have
you're a guy, if a
feelings.
guy is crying over scraped knees, that is fucking bad.
I don't
It's not even
consider that
crying emotional,
I
just
was gonna
emotional.
Say, okay, I was gonna say, I
But
don't
even just
consider that-
emotional is a problem. I'm telling you, an emotional man is a dangerous man. Is extremely dangerous.
So let's say, I'm not saying every day you come home from work, it's like, let me tell you
What
about
about
what happened
expressive
today.
man? Oh my god!
But what I'm
Sorry,
saying
what
is,
I'm
what,
saying
what I'm saying is, when you say what you said, you are projecting how women feel. This happens
No.
all the time
Okay,
in dating.
So can a man
Okay.
be
All the
expressive?
time.
No.
Yes,
Wait, hold on. Wait,
he
wait,
can
wait,
to the
wait.
right people. You don't do it to your girl. Like a guy can, of course, express himself, but you don't run to your girl to do it. She can't even relate to your issues. A man's issues that he is actually dealing with, that a man deals with, you can't even fathom them.
Okay.
You can't.
So if you had something go on and it just happened, you walk through the door, now you seeing your girl standing there, and you're like, damn, I gotta hold this in until I go speak with my boys. Like, you just gonna hold it in all day?
Like, that is such the most
Men
sus
and
shit
women
ever.
are
Niggas
not
that have to go
the
talk to
same.
their guy.
Men
I
and
heard
women
that.
are not
okay,
the
but can
same.
you answer that? If something just happened as you're walking into your house, somewhere that the space you share with your wife, with your girlfriend.
What do you mean
And it's
something happened?
clearly-
Like a confrontation outside with the neighbor? Like, what do you mean? Give me a specific example.
If you almost got into a freaking car accident
Yeah.
and you're pissed off, and
Okay.
you come in the house, well, what level of this is what I can share with my girl versus this is what I need to share with my homeboys? So you're saying financial.
I'm saying,
work
okay,
things.
if I was in that position, I just almost got in a car wreck, and I come in there, like, this fucking idiot almost fucking hit me. That's it. That's literally it. That what you just described once again is something that if that happened to my girl, she would want to say something for fucking 15 minutes about it. You
Okay.
gotta understand, this is a female
Okay, so
thing.
now
It's
on
not
the
a male
opposite-
thing.
On the opposite side, if something happened at work and you don't need a solution right now, like I don't need you to tell me what to do tomorrow when I go in the office, you're not going to express that with her?
You are a bitch of a man if you're crying over something about your job to your girl, like, and it's just your job. You're really not getting this through your head that, like, and this is a big issue with the workplace too. Like, this is why women are pushing their workplace, and relationships suck and marriages suck, because when y'all go into the workplace, you pick up on a lot of shitty fucking habits, a shit ton of horrible habits. Used to 50, 60, 70, 100 years ago, the guy who was your boss was your husband. And so anytime you needed to do anything, it was at the home, and you were working for your home. You weren't working for the man. And so now women go into the workplace, you go and argue with bosses, you argue with coworkers, you get stressed out like you're talking about, and you're not built to handle it. So you got to come home and you got to talk about it to somebody. That's not what men do. We don't do that shit. We don't have to cry over stupid skin knees. Like, you got to understand that this is a huge issue today, and you're encouraging it whenever you say that type of stuff.
No, let me clarify that.
You encourage men to do it.
Thank you. Do not put, okay, I don't want anybody to put words in my mouth. What I'm encouraging is and I don't care who it is, if I'm with a man and you need to talk to me, talk to me. That's what I'm encouraging. I'm not encouraging you to come here every day at my house and being like, oh my God, the sky was looking real ugly today. I'm going to come tell you.
I'm
not
telling you,
encouraging
if
that.
his
I'm
mom cried, if his
encouraging-
mom died, he's got to come cry to you. That's fine.
I'm encouraging communication. I'm encouraging connection, and I'm encouraging safe space. That's what I'm encouraging. I don't give a damn if Tony that you met 20 years ago is not available today for you to talk. You can come talk to me. That's what I'm encouraging.
So how far does a man's emotion go? Like you're saying, if he's an emotional man, like, oh my gosh, he's pretty much like just a crybaby, a wimp, not a real man. So how far does it go? Because we want men to be emotional with us when it comes towards just having
You're
an intimacy.
projecting what you think, and it's just not true.
Well, no, it's just
Like, you think you want an emotional guy? Go be with some emotional guys, ladies, and let me know how long y'all's relationships last. I bet some of y'all might have been with some emotional guys, and you ain't with them right now. Wonder fucking why.
I don't want an emotional
I
guy. I
also-
want somebody that understands that I'm here if you need me.
So now you want an emotional guy, or you don't want an
I
emotional
just
guy.
want him to,
What?
talk.
The whole time I've been saying for you to come to feel like you can talk to me, like the safe
So
space.
you do want an emotional guy, for
No,
sure.
I don't want an overly emotional. I'm crying over everything, guy.
But we also don't want somebody that's hardcore either.
that
Act like
you
they
feel
don't have
like
feelings.
like if some shit happens, like I can
Tell
only
me
talk
that you're
to
mad.
my
Tell me that
friends.
you're upset. Tell me like that job pissed you off. I want to know.
You may not have
I
to
want
go
y'all to
into
understand
detail.
that they would do it, but it would just be as simple, like I just said. That fucking idiot almost
And
hit me.
that's fine.
And that's
That's fine. nothing.
fine.
I know, and that's nothing, and that's okay. But what I'm saying, that's nothing like what you described, though. What you want out of the guy. That's like what you were describing sounds nothing like what I just said. Like you want him to come in, like sit and like hold your hand and be like, baby, this fucking day was just it's just so hard, man. Like my boss, he called me a dumb shit. It hurts really bad.
Like I
just really don't want to be called a dumb shit.
I want to quit tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's like
I scraped my knuckle while I was turning apart today.
We want somebody. We want somebody that knows how to be strong.
Yeah, we don't want.
We want somebody that knows how to be.
So we got to get to super chats. We got to start wrapping up.
Yeah. We are.
Before we do, so one thing about men, ladies, is that we're very more logical creatures. We're not wanting to come home and sulk in our emotions even more than what we already had. Even if we might have had a bad day, it's time to fucking end that day. Once we clock out of work, close that laptop, it's time to fucking move on. You know, that's part of our work-life balance. And that's part of being logical. So we don't want to sit there and spend another 30 to 45, maybe even an hour, or however fucking long that we want to talk to you about our emotions. Because that shit it's done and past. Let's move forward, whatever else, and be looking forward to the next day. That's ultimately what it is. So don't take it personal whenever a guy says, oh, I don't want to talk about my feelings, because at the end of the day, two emotional people in a household, that's a fucking train wreck. So
yeah. Well, the biggest thing is just realize sometimes, just realize that men and women are different. You know, like there's some things that y'all might want or y'all might like, and you need to realize maybe that's just you, or maybe it's you being a woman, you know, and maybe that guy isn't going to think the same or feel the same way, you know, like this is the huge problem today, is that dating, y'all don't give a shit about what men want. I guarantee you that if I asked y'all, do you know what a fucking like a really, really driven guy wants or anything like that?
I already know.
It's really hard to.
Sex.
Well, no, you're already wrong. So that's why I'm saying, what do y'all think is the number one thing a guy wants in a wife?
Oh, submissive. They want.
Yeah.
No, there's one thing higher than that. What do you think?
Happiness.
No, there's one thing higher.
One thing.
Yeah.
One thing.
Out of a woman that a guy wants.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
Yeah.
For you to shut up.
It's loyalty, ladies. Okay. It's loyalty over everything, and that's because of evolutionary biology. For 300,000 years as Homo sapiens, we didn't know whose kid was ours because there was no condoms, there was no birth control, there was no tests to see whose kid it was. There was none of that shit. So we knew if our woman was really our woman by how loyal she was to us. Because you could have another guy's kid and be raising it, and you would never fucking know it back then. So it's very serious that women are loyal. This is why chastity is such a big deal. Like, it wouldn't be such a big deal if it wasn't for how we didn't have all that technology to make it to where y'all could sleep around and not give a shit.
Well, can I ask a question then?
Yeah.
I know we were talking about women sleeping with men on the first date.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's about loyalty for a man, how would you feel to know that you slept with her on the first date?
What makes her loyal then?
Yeah. What makes you think, she done did it with everybody else then?
Well, no, because shit, it's about how loyal she is afterwards. So for my girl, I'll give you a perfect example. I knew how loyal she was because she didn't have a crazy Instagram with a shit ton of followers of guys and a bunch of bikini.
But I know a lot of girls that are not on social media. They're wild.
And that's great. They can totally be like that. But the thing is, it's all about perception. If a guy sees it, and if first perception is everything, you know. So if a guy sees her, she could totally lie and get away with it. But the thing is, if the guy's smart, we can tell if a girl is loyal or if she's a hoe or whatever it is by how y'all act. I don't have to look at it Instagram. I can look at Instagram. That'll give me a good sense of what she is too. But just how they act, how they talk, shit, you can sit there and act like a friend sometimes, and they'll admit a bunch of stupid shit to you. And the next thing you know, you're like, yep, I'm gonna keep her in the fuck only zone, and we're gonna keep fucking for a while. And and she'll never know it. I'll never tell her. I'm never gonna be like, yeah, I'm really mad that you told me about your 30 body count the other day. I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm gonna act like it was nothing.
So what about the guy's 30 body count?
It's completely different. You think men and women are the same?
I think they're different in aspect, but the same thing. Loyalty. How I know that you got a 30 body count, that you're not. We get together. You're not gonna go out and be with somebody else. It's the whole backwards dynamics of female versus male.
Because men and women aren't the same. There's certain things that you can get away with that I can never get. When you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you could have gone and got a yacht and gone on a yacht in Miami. I couldn't. You could go and skip the line at a club. I can't. You gotta understand. There's certain privileges that men have, and there's certain privileges that women have, and it's always been like this.
So what point does a man get to the past like, okay, you know what, she was that person maybe a long time ago, but now she's like a totally different person. Like, she's not that Instagram chick no more. She's not that girl that's in the club. She's really got goals, priorities. What point does a man get to there? Because men probably around about 30 or so, like 28, they get to that point where it's just like, okay, you know, I'm ready to settle down, start wilding out, like find me a housewife, you know, do all this, have somebody to have some kids with. But it's like, then you cut off everybody after that, like everybody. So it's like, what point does a woman get to be like, okay, you know what, I cut that out. It's like, I'm ready to settle down, find somebody. Because by then, y'all gonna be like, well, because then
y'all don't have any time. You can't do it at all. You don't. Like,
we don't have nothing.
Well, y'all aren't allowed to do it at all. No, if you get a body count over 5 or 10, you're fucked. Like, it's that simple.
Fucked.
Yeah,
Just
seriously,
like
like you're fucked because you can't pair bond as easily after that. Statistics show that you're less happy in a marriage after 5, after 10 bodies. It's very damaging. It's extremely damaging because, like I said, you release oxytocin when y'all have sex. Men don't. So y'all are gonna have a completely different experience from sex than what we are.
How many women that you have slept with first date so you slept with your girlfriend on first date, and then how long?
All my serious relationships were that, except for my first one. Like, every one of my serious relationships. So I've had 5 serious relationships. The first girl made me wait, who I lost my virginity to, and the 4 girls after that, they were all first nights, and I locked them in because I always say, like, if you do that, if a girl does that, if she sleeps with the guy on the first night, you have to show that you're extremely loyal after that, and you also have to show what you provide in his life, like how complimentary you are. If he's very good at making money and doing these things, you need to be complimentary, and whatever he's bad at, you need to do those things very well, whether that's helping him with his business or helping him around the house, whatever it is. But you have to put up more value than the other girls. You're competing. Women are competing now. It's not like how it used to be. For the good guys, y'all have to compete for them.
Yeah.
Here, I want to do this one little Christmas question before we end it, just really quick.
Yeah.
Where do y'all think Christmas traditions come from?
Christmas tradition?
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll start on you at the end.
Well, initially, as a kid, I just think, oh, Christmas, you just get presents, blah, blah, blah.
Like the tree and everything.
Yeah,
you don't know where any of it
everything.
comes from?
But as far as like, I just think of like history, Black history. I recently saw like this picture of like all Black slaves, like, lined up like a tree, and they had like ornaments in a way, but they like painted like, letters to represent like the ornaments of the tree in the triangle dynamic.
It definitely doesn't have anything to do with race stuff.
Oh, definitely not. But
whoa.
Do you know what Christmas comes from?
Do
you know what the Christmas traditions come from? Like the tree, the stockings, the reindeer. Do you know what any of it comes from?
No.
Do you know what any of it comes from?
Pagan holiday.
Yeah, it does. So it all comes from it comes from Germanic traditions, because back in Germania, whenever there was shamans coming down, and whenever it would snow in Germania, like the only place where they could come is through the middle fire chute. And the shaman would come in, a Santa, I guess you could say, and when he would come, he'd bring the mushrooms for everybody, and they would dry the mushrooms on the fireplace in the stockings. So then once they were dry, they were able to eat the mushrooms and have their pagan holiday where they'd all trip balls and do that. And then the reindeer come from, because the reindeer in those areas, they actually like to eat the same mushroom. It's called the Minnesota mushroom. It's the red and white mushroom that you see in Mario and stuff like that. It makes you trip really hard, and the reindeer like to eat it so much that they will literally come and tackle people and drink and eat their piss in the snow, and then they will trip from the snow. Some of the people up in those areas will actually drink the pee of the reindeer, because then you won't throw up when you eat. Like, if you eat the mushroom, you'll throw up and you'll trip, but if you drink the pee, you'll just trip and you won't throw up. So a lot of them do that. And another thing, like the reason why it's always present under the tree is because that exact tree, I forgot what the name of the tree is. That exact tree is the only tree that has a symbiosis with that mushroom. And those mushrooms only grow under those trees.
That makes sense.
And that's why reindeer are known for flying. That's why
you're on a trip.
Yes,
let's just be honest. Christmas, as we know it, it's not the same thing as it was back in the day.
Yeah.
It means something totally different now.
Well, I just think it's funny when we use all the stockings and we use the tree and we do the presents under the tree. Like, this is all very pagan. It's all very very mushroomy worship type of shit. And like even the reindeer story, like all of it all goes back to some really cool stuff. If you look at postcards from like 100 years ago and 150 years ago, they all have like gnomes and like mushrooms on them and shit. Like the Christmas cards were all super fucking weird. It was definitely different than what we see now. But no, I just wanted to throw that little tidbit in at the end just so everybody could learn a little bit more about Christmas for the show. But no, I just want to know really quick, I want to know if y'all would like to come back to the show sometime, because obviously we didn't get to do a long one, so I would love to have y'all back because we didn't even get to deep dive into some of these conversations.
Really?
It got
It'd be
pretty
really
deep.
fun.
It got pretty deep.
Oh, it can get way more deep. Trust me. Yeah. We only did like one slice of the pie. So yeah, I just want to know how did you enjoy the show, and would you like to come back?
Most definitely, I enjoyed the show. I love a good debate. Learning more about the male species because it's very complex. So I'm always game for it. I'm always game.
Good. No, good. What about you?
Yeah, enjoyed the show. Would come back for sure.
Hell yeah, we got a lot more to talk about, don't we?
Oh,
Yeah. I'll see you soon. What about you?
I enjoyed the show, and I definitely would love to come back.
Hell yeah, man. That's my biggest thing that I want. Is I just want people to come back so we can all learn. I want y'all to bring single girls back so we can teach more girls things. My biggest goal with this channel is I want to make girls dateable wives. Like, I want y'all to learn more about men, because society is fucked up and we're not going to fix it by us not learning about each other. Okay.
In the house.
Yeah.
Like, we definitely.
Jr.
Yeah, no. I really respect
Junior.
Kevin Samuels. Honestly, he's the godfather. He's one of the greatest. Like, he truly wanted to fix the community more than anybody else in this fucking world. Like, he cares more about people than I think most people in this world, and he was ridiculed, like crazy after his death. It's really sad. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. Like, he's literally one of the greatest in my eyes. Because, like I said, nobody's trying to heal this shit. And if you look in the sphere that I'm doing, the YouTube sphere I'm in, there's a lot of people that are making it worse. They're telling guys to do a lot of worse things and just add to the hedonistic cycle that's going on. And I'm trying to set that back and go the other way.
I definitely think it just starts with a healthy communication. That's all.
Yeah, communication. Just
Healthy
speaking.
communication.
Yeah.
Understand.
We'll learn a lot more next time y'all come for sure. I really appreciate y'all coming though. No, thank you guys. Oh wait, yeah. Let's read off those super chats real quick. Zora's Lost. We got $5. If you knew that the saddest demographic of people in the West is 40+ years old women making $50 to $100K a year, no family, kids, would you make different life choices to get a man family? Yeah. Would y'all? Does reading that statistic make you feel a little bit different? Y'all don't want to be the saddest demographic of people. Like, seriously, there's a lot of people adding to that number right now. Zora's Lost again. In 2022, accountability is a woman's kryptonite. It's hard to do it, bro. I see a lot of guys that can't take accountability either, man. DC the Beast with the $10. Women clearly don't understand the male experience, but it's okay. The whole point of Red Pill is for men to understand masculinity and not get women to feel sorry for their shortcomings. Very true, man. Yeah, we don't need to be crying about it. $2 from Joshua Frick. Thank you, bro. Women pick a zero thinking they'll make him a hero. Yeah, that is true.
Well, women do date down.
Zoro's lost $5. Men want women who has ambition to be a wife, mother, feminine, fit, friend, no 304 tendencies. Submissive. Your career status, money is not that important. Very true, man.
If you're a real man, he don't care.
Griot, thank you, Griot, for the shout out, man. Thank you for helping us out in the studio too. Now we got Griot in the studio recording our intro video, guys. It's gonna be fucking lit. Shout out to the Purple Pill Pod. Shout out to Sergio. Hard work pays off. Just the beginning. FNF Dallas. Shout out to Rod Eric. Greatest from the small beginnings. When you have vision, things happen for sure, bro. Thank you so much, man. All right, next we
That's it.
That's it. Oh man, thank y'all all so much for coming, guys. We're gonna go. We got to go finish shooting this other video. Thank you all, ladies, so much. I really want y'all to come back soon, like probably next Friday if y'all could, or just in the next 2 weeks, please. Because while y'all are still on everybody's memories, it would be nice if y'all came back sooner, you know. So yeah, please come back soon. Let's do this again. I will have a good long episode where I get to deep dive in some of these questions, so we can really peel back some of these layers.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, thank you, chat, for showing up and showing out, man. Thank you, Donnie. Yeah, and thank you, ladies. We will see y'all on what is today? Friday. We will see you on Monday. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas! Woo!
Here, guys.
Peace out, y'all.
Motherfucker.